everyone.
It says live.
Delayed reaction.
Hopefully,
Happy New Year.
Happy New Year, everybody. Hopefully you can hear me.
Thank you for joining us.
Can you hear us? Let's get closer so you can hear us. Let's see. Am I in the shot? All right. Beautiful.
I just got my hair cut.
Hang on, let me. You don't have a bunch of background noise. That's good.
My bangs are a little bit short, but it's okay. They'll grow. How is everyone? Hold on now. I am trying to get into this so I can read your comments.
Don't press any wrong buttons.
I'm not.
I wanted to show you guys this cool new hat that Jennifer got me.
Yeah.
Was Christmas present.
Merry Christmas.
Christmas gift from my beloved.
Crocodile Dundee hat.
You like it?
I like it.
Okay. Can you read what there's people? I see somebody in Chicago.
I don't see the chat thing.
Happy New Year, people.
There we go. Oh, there we go. Hey, Lonnie and Martin and Brandon.
Happy.
And Phil and Victor.
Happy New Year.
Me too. Lucas.
Okay.
Paul. Paulie.
All right. We're gonna.
Hi. Happy New Year.
We wanted to have a quick live to be able to chat with you all and
Just say hi.
see what's
It's been a
going
little
on.
while.
Yeah, what's happening in your world.
Yeah.
Let you know what's happening in ours. See a few people coming in here. Thanks for visiting with us. Thanks for being a part of this.
Happy New Year, Mustang.
Very casual
And Blair.
chat.
Yeah. Dan Jensen from Denmark. Cool. Keith.
Okay, talk amongst yourselves.
And Trip. Hey, Trip. Rick.
We want to know
John.
what you people would like to talk about. We're going to just go over a few.
Yeah, we're shooting
things.
loose from the hip because we don't really have anything planned.
So, let's say yesterday was New Year's Day.
And we just went for a walk
we went for a walk,
on the beach.
and we happened upon thousands of people
We were like, what is going on?
in our quiet little beach town. That's normally this time of year is very quiet. There's nobody walking around.
And usually you hear about stuff, you know, just like neighbors talk and
Yeah, but we don't keep abreast of stuff.
yeah.
I mean, I keep abreast, but I keep a couple. We don't read the papers like we should, and
Yeah.
we're not on those Facebook pages. We probably should be, the local Facebook pages. I'm trying to get good about that, but yeah. So we went down there, and it was so festive and so fun.
So fun.
Talking
People were
about
tailgating.
Surf City, yeah.
Yeah.
There were food trucks, and there was music, and the smell of delicious food was in the air. It was like a spring day.
It was like Mardi Gras.
And then people were coming up. We did a video. You can watch the video now. It's fun. It's cool. And we walked, through town and onto the beach, and there everybody was getting ready to go run and jump in the water. And
Which they made sound like it's warm because they said, oh, the water's 78 degrees.
see,
And we were all like, whoa, that's pretty warm.
and that's the thing that people don't understand about. What if I press this?
Yeah.
About water temperature is. Oh, now what have I done? Okay, forget
But
it.
then you think about it, and you're like, that is 78 degrees is 20 degrees less than your body.
Yeah, exactly.
So
And it depends on the ambient temperature, and it was about
Yeah.
60, 61 degrees.
Yeah.
So when it's chilly outside and the water is 20 degrees cooler than you are, that's a very shocking feeling.
It was.
It does feel like ice water, and
It
people like to
does.
say, "Oh man, that's nothing. What are you talking about?" Well, those same people saying those things,
If they got dunked in there.
they got dunked in there. Yeah, and we understand the water is colder in
Yeah.
North Atlantic. We're not idiots, you know. We know it's colder in Alaska and the North
Well,
Atlantic.
we used to go swimming in the lake where I grew up when it was 45 degrees in
And
the
it didn't
water.
and it didn't seem as cold as this.
No, you get in and you get warmed up and swim
Yeah.
around, and it was not a big deal. Of course, I was a kid then. Now I'd probably be like,
Yeah. So we watched, and I filmed the people going in. They really weren't going in. they were
into
running
their
out.
knees.
I got my feet wet, and I pretty much did. I ended up by default doing about as much as everybody else did. You know.
Yeah.
We had our clothes on. Jen wanted to go in, but I kept saying, "Take your clothes off, just go in," and that wouldn't have
I was not prepared.
gone well. She'd have ended up in
Yeah,
the,
I had no idea.
the
I
clink.
would've- You know, I would have had my bikini on.
Yeah. Finally caught one of these live chats, says Martin
Yeah.
Hadjuk. Thanks for joining us.
Hi, Sly. Happy New Year to you.
So
Happy New Year to you all.
we hope you all are are ready and going to have a good year in spite of it all. Let's do that. Let's
Yes.
do it and enjoy it in spite of it all.
Yep.
You know, I talk every now and then. I remind Jen that some of the best times in my life, I was the poorest I've been. You
Yeah.
know?
Yep.
It's a funny thing. A lot of people share that experience.
Necessity.
They say,
What do you say? Necessity creates.
well, necessity is the mother of invention.
Mother
but
of
that's,
invention.
yeah,
Thank you.
well, I guess we invented good times. There you go.
Exactly.
You know?
Yeah.
We enjoyed what little we had more. That's not to say that I don't have good times anymore. We have a great time.
Oh yeah.
We get a lot of enjoyment out of life, but I remember, you know, Mama not having $100 in the bank and being happy, just running through the woods half naked, you know, catching snakes and then growing a little older and chasing girls, but or
Hey, we used to run through the
chasing
woods
girls with
naked.
snakes with my snake. Okay, so
Happy New Year, Peter Lang
so we had the kids over
and Nika.
for Christmas, and we had them for New Year's by default. We had our daughter Destin here, and here's why.
Yes.
And here's I want to tell a cautionary tale. Hopefully this will save somebody's dog out there.
Yeah.
So you got some dogs that will eat anything. They'll chew. They'll just go for anything.
Yeah.
My daughter has a
A
7,
boxer mix.
an 8, no,
11.
11-year-old boxer mix. He acts like a young dog.
Yeah.
He's
I was
kid.
shocked when she said he was 11.
He's a skinny boy. We're going to put
Yeah.
a video up about this. But they come over for Christmas, and when did they come? The day before Christmas Eve?
Yes.
Okay,
They came the day after this big windstorm that we had,
yeah,
which knocked our bird feeder over.
and I'll try to run through it pretty quickly, but it's a pretty amazing story. They get here, everybody's set up. They're set up to put all their stuff in their bedroom. Somehow, Kit, the dog, gets out on the deck and eats the bird feed that spilled out when the bird feeder got knocked over in the wind.
There was a bunch up here, not that much, but down below. We didn't realize there was
Now,
a pile.
listen to where this goes. He starts moping around. We didn't know what was wrong with him.
Yeah, he
we
was
didn't know
kind
what
of
he had
whining.
done.
We thought he was begging for food, which
And
he always does.
He gets this sad look in his eyes. I mean, scary, like he's dying.
Yeah.
And this happens with him when he ingests something.
He's like,
he shouldn't.
Mom.
He's standing there sinking down in his shoulders and looking red all around. And then he pukes and then he poops all over the floor. Bird seed out of both ends. And then he just took a turn for the worst, and he didn't get better overnight. We
He
got
wasn't
really
drinking,
worried.
he
You
wasn't
know,
eating.
and he looked like he was dying. He was a dying dog. And my daughter said the next day, I've got to bring him in. She found an emergency vet.
Christmas Day.
Christmas Day.
Well, it was the same vet that we brought Bob to.
A classic tale. You remember our cat got shot in the face. Some idiot shot it with a pellet gun, and him, Bob, and he lost his eye. We ended up having to have his eye removed. They shot him in the face right near the corner of the eye, and it obliterated his eye.
Yeah.
And so we brought him to that vet. It was $2,000 walking in the door. X-rays, enemas.
Deposit.
Kept him overnight. Enemas the next day. They said
It was rare to have to perform surgery for something like this.
and they had to perform surgery.
And they ended up having to perform
And so-
surgery on Wednesday.
Guess what the
So-
grand total was? You guessed it, $5,700. So
Which is
my
less
daughter,
than we thought it was going to be.
our poor daughter, she had to set up an account, and they're charging her 29% interest.
Yeah.
You know, I don't want to fault them. I mean, it's an emergency clinic. Who else is going to take your dog on Christmas Day? And
Yeah.
we were thankful that they were there.
Oh.
So I need to be reminded that it's a good thing.
Yeah.
She saved his life, and she wouldn't have had it any other way.
Yeah.
So she's paying dearly for this, and
But it just got impacted in there.
I tried to set up
move.
a crowdfunding site, and that hasn't been approved for her. Maybe that'll get approved, and we'll tell you about it. It's on givetaxfree.org or something like that. Anyway, so that is the cautionary tale.
Yeah,
Don't let your dog eat bird feed. If you have a bird feeder, protect the area around the base of it in case the squirrels knock it out. You don't want your dog to eat it. It can also get bacteria, and that can be a problem.
Mold. Yep.
She had a friend that came to a party at her house, ate a corn cob, just swallowed the damn
The dog. Her dog did.
a dog. And they brought the friend to the vet, and thank you, Jen.
You're welcome.
You are an essential part of it.
I have to clarify.
They brought the dog to the vet, and the dog had to have surgery for
Yeah.
a piece of a corn cob. So
Yeah.
watch out for that. And so bird feed, let me just say this. It makes sense that bird feed doesn't get digested because it makes it through the winter and flowers and grows in the spring, right?
Yeah.
Considering it's got a
Plus
protective
it's dry.
coating on it.
Yeah.
It's
And he wasn't drinking.
naturally coated. Nature provides for it to be protected. So
Yeah.
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 Anyway, that's that story.
So, yes.
Moving along.
Yes. So this live is brought to you by the Banshee Moon channel. And we are still selling calendars. We're in our last batch. So if you haven't gotten yours and you want to,
What is this?
go ahead and go on etsy.com/shop/Banshee Moon.
Did you ever think you'd be a pinup girl at 60?
No.
Well, you're not yet. You will be in 2 years, right?
2 years.
3 years.
What do you mean?
You'll be 60.
4 years. Wait, how old am I?
57. Sorry.
I'm not 57. I'm going to be 57 this summer.
Oh. Anyway,
Like, what? I lost it there for a sec.
well, that's a great calendar. You do a good job. You've done that for 7 years.
Yep.
And you never thought you would ever do anything like that.
No.
And then all of a sudden you had all these fans saying, you should do a calendar, you should do a calendar.
Yeah. And I
That
was like, really? You think
7
people
years
would
ago.
buy that? I don't know.
And we did
Let's
one.
see.
So I shot it, and it was, it's okay.
Yeah.
That was the one where you had you were sitting in the car, the 57 Chevy,
57 Chevy.
sitting in the window like Marilyn Monroe, like how she was.
I tried. I'm
Yeah.
no Marilyn, but I tried.
Happy New Year, Harry Colmia. What's that say? Colmia.
I don't know where you are.
Happy New Year to all of you.
Hey, Charles. Good to see you. Thank you all for being here.
And Jen,
And Marcus, the Moose Adventures.
we have a good question.
That's awesome.
A good question for you, Jen. Hi in Poland, yeah, Mark005. Keith Cornell wants to know, Jen, what are your hopes for 2023? Hopes for you and hopes about
Oh my gosh,
things in
I
general.
have so many hopes. But, I don't know, what is my biggest hope? I would just like for everybody to stop watching the mainstream media.
Legacy
and start
media.
thinking for themselves.
Stop believing all the government institutions that you think are your friend.
And listen to your inner soul.
Don't let people
What does it tell you?
don't let people give you guilt for seeing what's actually happening.
And for questioning things. And who cares if they do anyway? Just let them do what they're going to do. If you have a question, follow it through. Do some research. Do what you feel is best for you and your health.
Yeah.
I mean, that's what it comes down to in the end. Don't let people pressure you into doing things.
Don't trust big media and don't believe everything Big Pharma tells you.
In the end, it's all going to work out for you.
Yeah.
And for us.
Yeah.
So it either does or it doesn't, right? We deal with what we are given.
And we believe
We always
in
get through stuff.
a holistic approach to health in as much as possible.
Yeah.
It's coming from a guy who just had surgery. My first
Who's waiting for my pain tincture to
yeah,
get finished.
my first invasive surgery.
It's got 2 more weeks.
Can I talk about that? Because there are a lot of guys in my age
Yeah.
range out there.
Yeah.
I did talk about it quite a bit. I
Yeah.
had that hernia surgery. Is anybody curious about that? It's been 2 months. So,
Thank you, Rick. So glad that you enjoy the channel. And Blair, yes, 66ers. We're not rushing it.
66 is my number, man.
Yep.
And that's
Everything comes up 6s.
my wife's birth year. Yeah.
Yep.
Um,
Yes, Eric. Don't wait for further instructions from the government. Enjoy life, be safe, and be kind.
Happy New Year.
Perfect.
Redneck
Well
Pepper.
said. Oh yeah, Happy New Year.
That's funny, you know, here's a prepper, right? And people used to laugh at preppers.
Now who's the smart
Now
one?
who's laughing? Now who's laughing at who, right? Preppers were so smart. Those are the guys that weren't going, they were like, what's everybody so in love with toilet? What's going on with the toilet paper?
We've got piles of it.
Make sure to have your gold. Make sure to have your cans of soup and
Thank you, Christian.
10 barrels of rice and beans and grains and things to get you through, because we've seen it now.
Well, you never know. And
Everything that was a conspiracy theory 2 years ago has become a reality, you know?
that's pretty scary.
So you know things could happen.
Yep.
But in a way, let us see that as a good thing. It's kind of prepared the psyches of this nation and the world, you know, that things can go awry and the thin veneer of society can fall and we could be in trouble. So let's avoid that by making some preparations.
Yep.
Yeah. Ask a Native American how far you can trust the government. This is true. This is
Eric,
true.
They know.
Sad but true. Hey, as far as I've had a lot of discussions with my kids about the whole racism thing. You know, I was saying, I was trying to formulate a thought, and I said, in all wars, there are always wars. There always have been, and sadly probably always will be. There's always good guys and bad guys on each side. There's always bad guys.
Mm-hmm.
There's always bad guys and good guys on the white spectrum of race, and there's always good guys and bad guys on the black side, on the other spectrum of there's always good and bad, and there's
Yeah.
always, and I'm just so tired of
And
it.
you were saying the other day that it was
better.
better.
It was better when I was
we were
growing up.
kids.
When we were growing
really
up,
was.
after the civil rights movement, people were making an effort to get along, and there were a lot of people that had begun to franchise the whole racial thing, you know,
Yep.
like the race war.
Yep.
They'd begun to make money and profit off of that, especially politicians. But you got to think about it. People that started writing books and things like Roots. Roots was huge. It was a great production. The movie
yeah.
of the book was great. The movie was great. But when I was growing up, there were some of those movies, a lot of those movies about the evil white men, and people realized there was a lot of profit in that. You know,
Stirring up the racial tension.
stirring the tension, right? And they kind of franchised that and kept doing it and doing it and doing it, and you threaten those people's industry when you start saying we don't have problems.
Yep.
There are black people that hate white people and white people that hate black people, and that's how it's going to be. There's always people that
Yep.
there's always people in every race that don't like people that look like them.
That don't look like them.
That don't look like them.
Yeah.
Yeah, you know, we've all seen it. And anyway, I was just no race or creed has, you know, the corner on the
That's
hate
for sure.
market.
Yep.
A
Yep.
lot of people are just loving people. Let's be those people.
Yeah.
So,
Well said.
well, I don't know.
Yeah.
It's a lot to be said.
Hey, Andrew McLafferty. In Colorado. Andrew.
And you did.
And Drew.
Yeah.
Our daughter's boyfriend just left with her. His name is Andrew, too.
Uh-huh. I called
Hi,
him Andy
Brian.
yesterday.
Oh, yeah, that was funny.
Yeah. Andy? That's funny that you said Jesse Jackson and Al Sharpton. Yeah, they made their living off of stoking the flames
Still are.
of hatred.
Yeah.
You know, and I am so tired of seeing white people who have bought into all that and hate themselves.
It's
And
ridiculous.
I was watching a show
Just
the
be
other
a good
night.
person.
We were watching that show about that Cleo, the psychic,
Oh, yeah.
Miss Cleo,
Uh-huh.
and this woman said that she met her and they fell in love because Cleo just came out and decided she was a lesbian, I think. And she said, and it was this older white woman, and she said, and she was so interesting, and I don't know what she saw in me because I'm white. And like that's normalized now, like self-loathing white people who bought into the bullshit narrative, our bull
Yeah.
S narrative. I don't know what you can say on here anymore. That's one they'll get you for. So enough is enough. Stop it. Stop the brainwashing. And the girl, there was that young
Don't listen to the mainstream
black
media anymore.
woman. They had on these documentaries, they have everybody commenting from different walks of life. And this young black she was a director and an actor. And she was talking about the whole thing and how it played out. And it was these two investors that got the idea to have the psychic network,
Yeah.
and bring all these people in to man these phones and do psychic readings for
Very
people. Well, of course,
deceitful.
none of them were psychics. Miss
Well,
Cleo,
of course, there are
well, some of them
psychics.
were, but they interviewed a bunch of them. They were like, we were just kids, man.
Yeah,
They gave
yeah,
us a
yeah.
script and we said we were psychics and we did readings for people. We didn't
Yeah.
know what we were doing.
Yeah.
And so this girl is commenting about, and they made $1 billion. They really did. They made about $1 billion doing this over a decade, and they were just scamming people. And this girl was commenting on it, and of course, everybody's pro Miss Cleo, and she's attacking these guys that started it, which were bad guys. So they were white guys, and they were bad. They happened to be both white and bad. And she was like, "Yeah, two white guys ripping people off in America. Ain't that America? Ain't that the way? White guys." Could you imagine saying that in reverse? Like when you find somebody of another race, say black, and they're doing something bad, and you get on national television and normalize saying, "Ain't that the way?" You can't do that. You shouldn't.
Yeah.
You shouldn't. We shouldn't be acting like that. We shouldn't be normalizing it, and we shouldn't be accepting it.
Yeah.
And if you're white and you feel guilty, go away. You've got a problem. If you didn't do anything, don't feel guilty. I'm sorry. Sorry. I just had my daughter here, and
So-
we try. She's been.
Yeah. On a lighter note, Nico is asking what the temperature here is.
It's getting hot.
Actually, 60-ish, right?
It feels like
think
it.
it's about-
It feels a little better,
Well, it
warmer than
feels
yesterday.
warm because we're in the sun, but it was 57 a little while ago, so I'm assuming it's about 60 something. The young 60s,
Yeah.
like Exo Man.
I'm not even in my 60s. I'm just 60.
That's
I
right.
just turned 60.
So you're in your 60s.
So I said I was going to talk about my hernia.
Oh yeah.
Nobody said anything. Nobody said, yes, talk about it. Well, I'm going to talk about it anyway.
Let's see. I'm gonna talk about that.
You get to the bank. What about that? The bank?
He said you
Oh.
did that bank video.
Well, everybody's worried about the banks collapsing. I don't like to go to extremes.
Yeah, that's an
Anything is possible.
anything's possible.
My mom grew up in the Depression era. her father worked for the railroad. They were all right. But those people, a lot of those people didn't see that coming.
Yeah.
They didn't, back then you had newspapers and you had to read things well after they were written. Sometimes you could get the paper the same day, but sometimes you didn't get major important news for weeks. Before that it could be months.
Yeah.
So it was hard to get information in a timely fashion, and people weren't paying attention. They weren't reading. They weren't watching global trends, and people didn't see that coming. And I'm not an historian or anything like that, but now we don't have an excuse, and people need to pay attention, focus, read. There is now becoming this consensus with economists. They're all saying the R word now. They're all ready. They're all anticipating a recession, and they're saying just hold on to your money. If you don't need that big screen TV today, hold on to what you got. If you don't need a new car, my daughter just hit that sweet spot with her 15-year-old car, 2015-ish, and she was like, I was saying
15,
and I would say every couple of months, I talked her out of trading it in. I said, you just got it.
So nice
You're
to
just
not have
about
a
to get it
payment.
paid off. You're just about to get it paid off.
Yeah.
Imagine going every month and having an extra $200 or whatever.
Yeah.
Because she's a young person, and
I think it was like 300.
okay. I said, so imagine that. Just imagine that. Just imagine every month it's like another 300 coming in because it's not going out. Mama used to say, penny saved is a penny earned. So
Exactly.
300 saved is 300 earned. So I said, Destin, that's going to be like another $300 every month. Every month. What's $300 in 10 months? Well, that's $3,000. What's 300?
It was a few years that she
In
had it paid off.
24 months,
Yeah.
and
She saved a lot.
so every year you're saving thousands of dollars, and she was like, yeah, and so she did it, and what'd she do? She kept it
For years.
for several years,
Yeah.
and then she got to that point where
Like 3 or 4 years.
she started having mechanical problems,
Yeah.
and then finally she traded it in. And what I'm
Yeah.
saying is, if you don't need a new car, resist it. Right now is the time to resist those kind of things. We need to think about that, the age of austerity. You have to be conservative right now,
And
because we don't
just be prepared. Yeah.
be prepared.
For whatever
We were
could
talking
happen.
about that earlier.
Yeah.
I don't know if banks are going to crash, and I don't know all that stuff. I'm not an economist, but you need to read and ask questions and be prepared for anything.
Oh, Andrew says I pronounced his name wrong. It's McClarity. Thank you, Andrew.
And don't believe everything everybody tells you. If people sound alarms, people have been sounding alarms nonstop for all of time. When I was a little kid, they were telling me California's going to fall in the ocean. Well, hell,
yeah, I remember
I
that.
was a little kid in the 60s.
Yeah, I remember that.
And I
for a long
thought,
time.
well, it probably will one day. As I grew older, I was like, well, there is that San Andreas fault line.
And then they started saying New York too.
And then
Yeah.
when I was a little kid, they kept saying Jesus is coming, and I was like,
Yeah.
okay, that's cool. I hear you. And they said no, soon. And I was like, okay, yeah, Jesus is coming relatively soon. No,
Like now.
like now. And I was like, okay. And then every year I kept hearing it, and I grew older and older and older and older.
And then you realize it's kind of like the dinar.
And then, yeah, the dinar. Yeah, they're going to revalue the dinar, and if you buy these worthless wads of paper, you're
Yeah.
going to be a billionaire.
Yeah.
And we had a friend who kept buying it and buying it and buying it and buying it and
And she
buying.
couldn't afford to buy it.
She couldn't afford to buy it, and she
But-
spent thousands and thousands of dollars. If you don't know what I'm talking about the Iraqi currency.
And then just kept saying every week I'd see her, she's like, tomorrow it's going to
we talked to so-and-so,
revalue.
and so-and-so would have the conference. These guys that pump and dump,
Yeah,
know.
they do the phone calls.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And the dinar was supposed to make people billionaires, and that's been 20 years now.
Mm-hmm.
And they kept buying it and buying, and there's people out there, it's so sad, who've invested their life savings in there.
Yeah.
And it's like the COVID thing, once you've put the injection in, you can't you can't then
Undo
say,
it, yeah.
but you can't, but these people, the point I'm making is they inject the COVID vaccine and then these people sound the alarm and say, you shouldn't have done that. And you can't go from believing all that it keeps you from getting COVID and it keeps you from spreading COVID and you can't turn around, you can't just some people can't make that leap and say, oh, I've done a very bad thing, now I'm scared. They have to keep believing they did the right thing.
Yeah.
I'm not
Well,
saying
I do
either
have
or.
friends that were pretty much coerced into doing it, and now they're just pissed that they did it. They're just like, ugh. And they realize, and they're speaking out.
And we've had so many friends
but-
and people we know
But
who've
we're
had
not saying what
strokes,
to
and
do.
we're not telling you what to do. I'm just telling you, I know multiple people now whose doctors have told them, yes, you had a stroke from the vaccine. That's crazy. I shouldn't. And I know people who have had the vaccine and had strokes who don't link the two. I know both. We know both. We shouldn't know multiple people
I
like
know.
that. We never used
I
to.
know.
But anyway, it's the same, I was saying, with the dinar. Those people who have invested all that money have to keep playing that game because they can't say, well, I'm an idiot.
Yeah.
Time to
it
throw
all
this in the
away.
fire.
Yeah.
Because
Because you got to hold on to that.
you got to keep
Hope,
keep
is
on
good.
pretending.
Yeah.
Okay, so
Okay. Enough of that.
can we finally get to a lighter subject? I know it's just me.
Garnet. Hi, Garnet. That's a cool name.
Montana is in the house.
Viva Lake Spike.
All right, so, yeah, so the thing with the, with my, what do you call it?
Your hernia?
My hernia operation, it's,
Somebody said they just had a hernia surgery and they loved your updates and stuff on it.
so I had the operation and I talked to a lot of different people and I got a lot of different stories, and the consensus that I got was, it's great, man, you're gonna be so happy you did it, there's no problem with this mesh and all, and you know, which I find to be true, but what I didn't find to be true is that it was a quick heal and everything would be fine, no problem. I've had some problems.
Well, I wouldn't say
Oh,
problem.
no, I'm not discouraging anybody. You gotta get
Yeah,
that surgery.
there's no like stuff that's gone bad.
No.
It's just like
been, I've
more
had,
painful than he thought, and he's usually doesn't complain about anything.
And it might be that when you have it when you're a little older, it just takes a little longer. I don't know. I had a lot of these guys that were telling me, oh man, I had it in 3 days, I was fine. Well, in 3 days, I felt a hell of a lot better than I did the day after surgery.
Exactly.
In 3 weeks, I felt a hell of a lot better.
It's all
progression, but it's been 2 months, and I still feel a little sore down there, like my testicles and, in my lower abdomen. So that's just to say that for some of you guys, if you go in and get this inguinal hernia repair, you might be fine in a week.
Yeah. Exactly.
I got better and better, and it's
Everybody's different.
I'm 2 months today or tomorrow, and I'm a hell of a lot better. But I'm concerned, because you don't want to find out, geez, I did something wrong, I got to go have this redone.
Yeah.
But yeah, I had swelling on my inguinal canal, on where they do the surgery. I had hard, lumpy swelling, and the doctor said, yeah, that's where we did the surgery. That spermatic cord gets hydrosealed or whatever, and that's that lump you feel. It'll soften over time, and it has been. Anyway, so that's where we are now with that.
I got moved out of the sun.
Yeah, it's something, isn't it? Whew. Okay, so anything else? Oh, Jen and I did an audition and we had a lot of fun.
Oh yeah, that was.
So we had to sign non-disclosure agreements. You can't talk about these things because it was an audition. It was a national commercial audition for a national brand, and we just got to ad-lib and have fun with it.
Yeah, it was fun.
And I created a little.
I didn't have to talk very much. I like that.
Yeah. And so we were to act like a loony, like
No, you can't tell them.
oh no. Well, I don't tell them what, okay. NDA.
Never mind.
Me no es speaky.
But it was fun.
We did a
So
fun,
maybe you'll
what
see
I meant
us.
to say is we did a fun commercial audition. And it was something that I can't do, my agent and I were having a little kind of disagreement. He sends me this audition, right? And we had the last email I had gotten from him was to tell me, hey, remember that audition you did for that untitled Biltmore project? Biltmore Christmas project? Filming at the Biltmore. It's a movie for Hallmark, I can tell you that much. He said, they want you, they're gonna hire you, and you have a speaking role, and you might be up there for days, a number of days. He said, they want you. So the last email I'd gotten from him was that I booked that job.
Yeah.
And then he sends me this commercial audition, which is conflicting dates. They both filmed.
But they did say.
But they said in the audition invitation, they said, let us know if you have any conflicts.
Yeah.
And so I was talking to him about it after we filmed the audition, and I said, is this going to be a problem? And he was like, what are you talking about? I said, the dates, the conflict. He said, well, man, don't turn in that audition if it's a conflict. Don't make them watch an audition if they can't hire you. And I said, I went to a lot of trouble, and so did my wife, and so did my neighbor who filmed it, to do that. Turn the thing in. He's the guy that ultimately has to pull the trigger and send it to casting and the directors. And I said, I want them to see that, even if they say no. And you never know. They might say, well, we're going to delay anyway, so that's fine. So anyway, we got it sent in. You guys probably have no interest in what I'm talking about. But I like to talk.
But we'll let you know if we get it.
Speaking of auditions, y'all have a gig if we get financing for a film project. Oh, thank you, Blair. We appreciate that.
Cool.
Anybody else out there making a movie? You want to cast us?
Charles, my feet are still the same.
So are mine.
He had his surgery, and now I'm like, ugh, I don't know if I want to go through that.
This hernia surgery was my first invasive operation. This was the first time I had surgery. I was just whacking a toe off. But
Oh yeah.
You've had numerous invasive surgeries.
Yeah.
I think we have to wrap this up because the sun is getting
I'm sweating.
bad. What else? Buy gold, buy silver. I highly recommend that.
Buy a calendar. If you want.
Buy dirt if you have the capital for that. Hold on to your cash. Don't be buying those elaborate items, expensive,
If you have questions.
needless items. Hold on to your stuff.
If you have questions, do research, because you have questions for a reason.
Yeah, science.
Your inner self is telling you
Don't
something.
listen to people who tell you to follow their science. Those are the people you need
They
to
make
ask
up
questions.
science these days.
Science is made from questions. That's what science is. Science is questioning, and science is always changing.
Yep.
And think about all the times and things you've heard that are the things that are good for you, and then a year later they were bad for you. Then a year later they were good for you. Don't eat eggs. Give eggs a break. Oh, now eggs are bad for you again.
Exactly.
It's like fashion. You know, science has become somehow like fashion. It's a trend thing. It's supposed to be, science is about asking questions and re-asking the questions.
Yep.
And when you think you know it all, you have no idea how much you have yet to learn. So.
Yep. And even scientists that ask questions and discover new things get blackballed.
And this damn global
it changes the whole
warming
narrative.
thing. Stop with the you know, the verdict is in. They have shut out so many thousands of scientists who are saying, no, those questions, we don't believe that. We don't believe that what they are calling is science. We believe these core samples that we're seeing, that this has happened over and over and over again, that this is a cyclical thing and we're going through a cycle, and that these gases are good for plant life, and it's a constant give and take, and we're not as big as we think we are as human beings. And Mount Pinatubo spit more stuff into the ozone, you know, in 20 minutes than we did in 100 years.
Yeah.
You know, this is just the way of the world.
He's just throwing those numbers out.
I think what we need to focus
look those up.
Yes, the environment is in crisis. We need to stop with the damn plastic. There's a good place to start.
We've been trying to be so
God.
good. We've been so much better now.
Everybody's so
Glass for everything.
so distracted by these
Yeah.
pet crises that are, you know.
What did you want to talk about your hot sauce?
And we can't drill for oil here. We'll buy it from other people who are supposedly destroying the environment there. It's our earth. So if they're drilling holes into it over there,
It's
just
ours.
don't. What is that? Not in my backyard. Well, no, my people aren't going to make money. We want
It's
all these
ridiculous.
pipeline
Yeah.
people put out of business, and we'll buy it from the Saudis, and we'll buy it from Russia, wherever. It's ridiculous. I'm sorry.
Blair said he needs coffee.
Okay.
Place the order. I'll get it out
Blair,
to you.
we have the best coffee in the world, and that's a fact. That's science.
And Nika, yes, we like German beer, but we haven't been drinking.
Where do they get our coffee?
They get it from etsy.com/shop/bansheemoon. Same place you get the calendars.
Wait, is that etsy.com/shop/bansheemoon? How will I remember that? Unless you say it again.
You can write it down.
So it's
Banshee.
etsy.com.
Oh,
No?
oh yeah.
See?
Etsy.
Etsy.com/bansheemoon. I got you. All right.
Thank you.
Good advertising.
Thank you all.
Okay, and I'm sorry, I got.
Animated.
Next time we'll do a good news live feed.
Yeah.
I go to the site called Good News because I like to mix it up. I don't like all bad news.
Exactly, redneck prepper. Do they think they can change the sun?
Yeah. Well, I like irony, and the whole world likes irony, and I think God likes irony, and I think that one day God will just go fry us all before we can get to one of these tragic ends.
There's no guy in the
People
sky
like-
who's gonna fry us
I
all.
know, Jennifer. People like that little Greta girl. How dare you!
All right,
You're ruining
guys.
my life.
Guys and gals, so fun to hang out with
you just
all.
said question science, LOL. Yes, question the science. Okay, what the question is, hey, where can I get
Science is
good
question.
where can I get good coffee? And the scientific answer is buy it from Banshee Moon.
Etsy.com/shop/bansheemoon.
Okay, Blair, the current science is get it from us.
All right.
That was a lot of fun pissing and moaning for half an hour. We'll see you guys soon.
Ooh, next video should be German beer tasting.
All right.
Okay.
We haven't.
Ooh,
By
he
the
said
way,
all right. Do you hear that?
By the way, we haven't been drinking, and now it's been like 9 months, right?
Yeah.
I'm watching a snowy egret lately.
8 months, or yeah,
Wow.
8 months.
Wow.
Yeah, I
As
know.
as Owen Wilson
And we
would
have
say,
been enjoying
wow. We
lots
have
of very good sleep.
we have been enjoying good health and good sleep. I lost 25, 30 pounds.
I lost 10 pounds.
We're not saying we don't drink. We quit drinking. We're alcoholics or all that stuff. We're trying not to believe in that.
I
For
mean, every
ourselves.
once in a while we'll have a beer.
Our
Like if we were
our
traveling
reality
or
is
whatever.
our reality is that we cut out all the booze, and once in a while, yeah, we went to out of town for your birthday and we had a couple of beers. I think you forced me to drink a beer on my birthday,
I did.
and then you got sick.
Ugh,
You got sushi-itis.
got sushi sick.
You
Ugh,
got
that's worse.
Anasaki's disease.
For like
Anasaki.
5 days.
She got that worm, and
Yeah,
it was freaking
was
horrible.
Not
A
good.
nightmare. So
Not
be
good.
careful.
But I love sushi.
And I think the reason was we went to a sushi restaurant that was slow.
Yeah.
They were very slow, and that fish is very expensive, and they don't want to throw it out. So, anyway. What?
So, but it
Well,
tastes
that was
great. All right.
Oh, and the other thing, wanted to talk. I'm not gonna keep going, but I wanted to say, I was listening to this doctor that I listen to a lot, Dr. John Campbell. Watch him, please. He's an English doctor on YouTube, Dr. John Campbell. He does a lot of.
He's a scientist.
He's very, yes, thank you. He's very good at towing the line with YouTube and not getting himself in trouble and getting his channel shut down for medical misinformation.
Way better than we are.
He gives you facts, and he tells you what the CDC and the World Health Organization are doing, and a lot of these people are able to talk about the fact that like these large parts of countries in Africa are saying, we don't need the vaccine.
They don't have any COVID.
We don't have COVID.
Yeah.
And they keep, all these left-wing radical legacy media people are talking about
we need parity.
equity. We need vaccine equity. We need to give them the vaccine, and we've had our fill. God, we've had our fill. We need to give them and buy them the vaccine, and they're like, no, we don't need it. We need mosquito nets. We need beds.
We need
good
drinking water to drink. Yeah.
We need microscopes, and we need things to the most basic things.
Stuff.
We don't need your mRNA technology. We don't need it. Yes, we need cholera vaccines, but those are actual dead diseases, not technology that goes into your body and causes your body to supposedly causes your body to have an immune response and can do other things to your body. So watch this Dr. John Campbell. He's a great guy, and he's always got a good message.
He's on YouTube.
And his channel is called Dr. John Campbell. So please watch that. And thanks for watching, everybody. We'll talk.
So good to see everyone. Happy New Year. We love you.
Thanks for trying to temper me through this, Jen.